It's great to see so many young guns today in the audience. We are about to learn something about sales. But before we start doing that, could you please tell me, what do you like in life? What are your desires? Just a couple of examples from the audience. What do you like?
Good things for my family.
Good things for your family. Larry, good things for your family. Anyone else?
Traveling.
Traveling.
Dancing.
Dancing. Great, thanks for the examples. Larry, if you become a good salesman, you will earn enough money to provide many good things for your family. Olga, you like traveling? Not only you will have more than enough money to travel, moreover, when you become a very successful salesman, saleswoman, salesperson, you will probably have many business meetings around the world. Do you like dancing? Mm-hmm. Selling is like dancing. When you come to sell a person you want to sell something, you can dance to him, shock him, and using the shock to sell him something. Him or her.
Sure.
Well, there are two things we have to define before we go on with our speech today. The first thing is how do we go about our training session? And the second is, where do we gonna learn from? Where or who do we gonna learn from? The first question, how do we go about learning how to sail? There is an interesting quote by Benjamin Franklin. Tell me, and I forget. Teach me, and I may remember. Involve me, and I will learn. Now, I'm not going to give you theory non-stop for 20-something minutes, and God forbid, use some stupid acronyms, like for example, we're going to talk about sales process, and it is usually slow, and then go on to explain what every letter stands for. Now, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to try to make it as interactive as possible. The second question, where do we gonna learn from? Where or who do we gonna learn from? There is another man who was a very good salesman. We can treat him like that. Confucius. He sold his ideas about 2,500 years ago. And most of the China still subscribes to his ideas. And perhaps Asia on the whole is heavily influenced by his ideas. Confucius said, there are three ways to acquire wisdom. First, by reflecting, which is the noblest. Second, by imitation, which is the easiest. And the third one is by experience, which is the bitterest. Well, the first and the third one, the noblest and the bitterest, is up to you. I can't teach you that. So we'll be imitating people. We'll be learning something from people. I have some sales experience. I'm a great sales manager, as you can attest. And I know, even though you are young guns in our company, I know that perhaps our new salesperson, Valeria Hladkova, has good sales experience. Elena Yakovleva has good sales experience. But the people I will be telling you about have more sales experience than most of us combined. Not most of us, but all of us combined. Please welcome George Gerard and Ben Feldman. Why did I choose them? George Gerard was a car salesman. Oh, so sorry.
It's good.
Thanks. As I was saying, he was a car salesman. He sold cars back in 60s and 70s. At that time, it was a good quality, a good number of cars sold. A month was 6 cars a month. He sold in his prime 6 cars a day. He sold 13,000 cars in 15 years. He was a car salesman. And he is actually awarded the title of the best salesman in the world in the Guinness Book of World Records. The second person, Ben Feldman, was rather successful as well. He sold life insurance policies. He was once recognized as the best salesman in the world as well. It is a good thing if you can sell $1 million of insurance policies a year. His record is he sold $20 million of insurance policies a day and $100 million of insurance policies a year. And overall, throughout his career, he sold about $2 billion of insurance policies. So we can definitely learn something from them. Since both of the guys were in their prime in the 60s and 70s, and Ben Feldman was a salesman in the 80s, you can think about the system I was talking about as the old school way. What are we going to sell, by the way? As Alina told you, we are selling electronics, and primarily tablet computers. Concerning what we do in our shops, you will be mostly assigned to one shop. You will be standing there and talking to people coming into the shop. So the cycle for us, the sales cycle, has 5 stages. The first stage is prospecting. The second stage is presenting the product. The third stage is working with objections. The fourth stage is closing the sale. And the fifth stage is following up the sale to obtain some referrals and forgot the word. It doesn't matter. I will remember it a little bit later and tell you about it. Since it's very difficult to eat much in one sitting, we will be concentrating on the first 3 stages. And the first stage is prospecting. A person enters the shop, you look at him hungrily and definitely want to jump to him and sell something. But what do Ben and Joe think about it? They actually think that before going to the first stage, you have to do something with your attitude. For example, Ben used to say that he's dead at the moment. Ben used to say that if I don't buy it, I can't sell it. And George Gerard used to say that you have to be a customer too. And if you sell Volkswagens but drive a Mercedes, you don't show confidence in your product. So we have to make us believe in tablet computers. And could anyone tell me, can the thing be good for anything? Can it bring anything good to our customers? What can it be good for? Your variants.
Watching videos.
Watching videos.
Reading books.
Reading books.
Social network.
Social networking.
Babysitting.
Babysitting. See, you can even be good at babysitting somehow with a computer, with a tablet computer, that for sure. Armed with this knowledge, so it is a useful thing. You're not selling something, something useless. We're selling great things. You can read books, you can watch videos, you can babysit, you can network with people, with a thing. So armed with that knowledge, we approach our customer. Approach our customer and start the conversation. Are you guaranteed that when you start the conversation, the customer, or rather the prospect, will appreciate your trial? Of course not. As Ben said, even though he was a very successful salesman, he said that it usually took him 2 or 3 times approaching a person before he could start talking to the person, before the person becomes interested in him and his product. But at the same time, he said that if my prospect has a brain, it is possible for me to try to make him reconsider or rethink about the product. What do you need to know to make the prospecting easier for you? It is interesting that, for example, George Gerard doesn't recommend wearing any jewelry when you're talking to a person. And he recommends that you wear the clothes that your average customer can afford. You don't have to be dressed too rich for your average customer. And of course, both of them agree that listening is the key. And when you listen to the person, you make the person the most important person in the whole world. Meaning, if the person starts talking to you about his or her favorite movie, and you have some favorite movies as well, you don't start saying, hey, wait, my movie is, I watched a very interesting movie as well. You sit with your mouth shut and listen to about his favorite movie. He's the most important person in the world. If you listen well, people will like you. It will be very difficult for them to turn away from your offer. You will hook them up emotionally. Well, I see that some of you probably grew tired from the theory. So it's some time for our involvement. Could you please turn to your neighbor, start a conversation, and learn a thing or two, several things about interests and desires of the person. It will go like this: 1.5 minutes for you to talk to your neighbor, and then you reverse, and your neighbor talks to you. The interlocutor that makes you think that the tablet could be useful for the person. Some interest. Has anyone learned anything about it?
Denis likes traveling, and he an economist, he can get a lot of use out of this tablet. So I think like, while he travels, he can watch videos, read books and stuff.
Awesome.
Very useful device.
Great. Any other ideas?
Elena likes doing yoga exercises, and I think this is a very good device in order to just watch videos and probably repeat in front of you and practice yoga at your home.
In front of him, in front of the
In
device.
front of the device, yes.
Awesome.
Larry likes to learn new things, and also he likes to encourage desires of young people to improve themselves. So he can use this device to chat with people, to speak via Skype, and to tell them the right way to improve their skills.
Thanks. That's what prospecting is for. At least some of you managed to find something, to find the needs that can be satisfied with the product. The presentation is just about it. You usually build the presentation to specifically satisfy needs. Meaning you find needs and you build your presentation around those needs. And for example, Ben did just that. He practiced his presentations in front of the mirror. And as he used to say, that I'm looking for prospect whose needs I can satisfy with my products. What do we have to know about technical stuff, about presentations? When you're talking to the person, as Joe Girard recommends, it's better to assume that the person is ready to buy from you and use corresponding language. You don't say, if you buy it, I will give you something pleasant, I give you a sweet, or we'll ship it to you as soon as possible. You say, we will ship it to you in an hour. If you buy, we will ship it to you in an hour. Or say, very nice choice, sir, and we have a very nice cover to the tablet you chose. Now, naturally, you spend a lot of time prospecting, listening to the person about his or her favorite movies, found his or her desires, and build your presentation around those desires. But nevertheless, sometimes clients object to your presentation. What do you do about those objections? Objections is actually a very rich source for research for you. Meaning they can mean many different things. What do you do about objections? Well, it's a stupid hard work. You think about, use the noblest way of obtaining wisdom. You think about them and work out your possible answers to them. That was what Ben did exactly. He said that every night at home he thought about answers to objections. So you collect information and you work out possible solutions to objections as well. Does it sound like hard work? It ultimately is. As Joe Girard says, to be good at anything, you have to give that extra 10%. But hard work makes people respect you. And hard work makes you proud. And hard work makes you develop. And moreover, when you do put hard work, it pays you. Meaning you start becoming successful, guaranteed. And after some time, when you become successful, at the very least you will learn to appreciate the hard work you have to put in. And perhaps even enjoy it. Learn how to prospect your prospects. Learn how to present your product. And learn how to work with objections. And you will become successful and happy as a salesman.